Andy Katz here for NCAA.com and March Madness as we look at a super Saturday in men's college basketball. Let's start out with Gonzaga going to North Carolina. The Zags coming off that loss to Tennessee in Phoenix. They've lost their #1 ranking. They're going to Chapel Hill, and the Tar Heels desperately need a high-profile win. They didn't get that in Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and for the Zags, who are still down Killian Tilly and Gino Crandall, this would be a monumental true road win for Gonzaga if they can get it after this gauntlet that they've been on, where they went to Creighton and won, where they beat Duke in Maui, where they beat Washington in the final seconds at home in this arena right behind me. And then if they can go to North Carolina and beat the Tar Heels, it would say something about the title contending of the Zags. As for North Carolina, if they can get this up and down in transition and wear the Zags down because they're depleted, they certainly can win this game in Chapel Hill. Let's shift out to the state of Kansas, where Villanova takes on Kansas. And the Jayhawks, right now, without Udoka Azubuike, who's out with an ankle injury, they've been teetering a little. They're still winning games. They knocked off Stanford in overtime, then had to go down the last possession to beat New Mexico State. This is still a major test for them, taking on a Villanova team, which just got upset by Penn in the final Big Five game for the Wildcats this season. As for Villanova, depth has been an issue for them in terms of using their bench. Their younger guys not ready to play yet at the highest level, but they were right there to win that game against Penn. Phil Booth having an outstanding game, just not able to cross that threshold. We'll have to see how Kansas handles the speed of Villanova, but how does Villanova handle, even without Azubuike, basically Kansas on the backboard? That could be a decisive aspect for that game. And then there's the Crossroads Classics in Indianapolis, where you've got Indiana taking on Butler and Purdue taking on Notre Dame. Now for the Hoosiers, they're playing great basketball, really since that loss to Duke in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Now they've been playing some close games, but they're winning them. Knocking off Louisville was a major victory for Indiana. And in the Big Ten, a late possession victory over Northwestern. Butler, we still just don't know how good they are and whether or not they're going to be a true contender in the Big East. If they can knock off the Hoosiers, that would tell us something about where the Bulldogs could land in the Big East further down this season. And for Purdue, which is coming off basically a tough stretch that they've been on, where they lost to Texas. They did beat Maryland in the Big Ten, but they also lost to Florida State and Orlando earlier in November. For Purdue, if they can knock off a Notre Dame team, which almost beat UCLA on the road, that would be a good kickstart for Purdue before they reset and get back into the Big Ten. You've got one of the best players in the year, my preseason National Player of the Year candidate in Carson Edwards. He could potentially go off in this game in Indiana, but also on that Indiana-Butler game, Romeo Langford from Indiana. He's a hometown kid. He's a freshman. He told me he's really looking forward to playing on the home floor of the Pacers. So that'll wrap up a look at a super Saturday in men's college basketball. I'm Andy Katz.